My name's Brian and I'm the race director for the Lost Boys 50-mile trail run that was just run 2 days ago on April 30th, 2016. And here's my race director's recap of the race. Most runners and several volunteers started their day between 1 and 3 a.m. in order for the runners to catch the shuttle that left promptly at 3:30 a.m. at the finish line at Cuyamaca Lake. The buses deposited all of the crazy runners in the middle of the Anza Borrego Desert on the side of the road at Pinon Wash, and they were all welcomed to high winds and sand being thrown in all the gear they were trying to prep. Race started at 5 a.m. and all the runners headed into high headwinds. Crazy, nasty weather with sand feeling like it was being thrown fistful in their faces, using bandanas or shirts or any other clothing they could to keep the sand out of their faces, just running into crazy high desert whipping headwinds for the first 5 miles or so. The runners scrambled over the boulders and entered the open desert floor. Crossed as the sun rose, they crossed out into the open abyss of the open desert, through desert washes and up the dry waterfalls. Joel Frost was in the lead, heading out through the desert stretch. There was a patch of about 5 runners with Joel in the lead of them. And he maintained his lead up through Pedro Fages, which was about mile 30 in the race. The rest of the runners were climbing up Oriflame right behind him. Between Pedro Fages and West Mesa aid station, Joel unfortunately missed a turn and continued past a turn. At that point, he got passed by a few runners, and the first runner into the West Mesa aid station was Angela Chartel, followed by a couple other runners, and then Joel was able to retrace his steps, find the marked turn, and get back on course. The lead runners made the long climb up to Cuyamaca Peak, with Angela maintaining her lead through Cuyamaca Peak and all the way to the finish. Our winner of the Lost Boys 50 2016 was Angela Chartel in 8:47. Followed right behind her was the men's winner, Gabe Yenes, in 8:54. It was an exciting day for the rest of the runners as they were being supported by aid station captains, all of which are ultra marathon race directors, except for one who is an experienced ultra runner, and all the other aid stations are captained by ultra marathon race directors and other ultras runners that took awesome care of the rest of the runners while they battled through their day through the desert, up into the Pine Mountains. The contrast was amazing, where the desert dry, harsh start was flipped with a little bit of cold mist, tall grass, somewhat damp feet from the tall grass on the top at times, into the Pine Mountains. That's Cuyamaca Peak in the distance. I'm sweeping in reverse right now, so I'm going down Middle Peak, and there's Cuyamaca Peak in the distance. We had 59 starters and 53 finishers, which was a 90% finish rate. Super proud of what everybody did. A common theme of the Lost Boys this year and most years that we hear from a lot of runners regarding the marking was impeccable marking everything was marked awesome, and many runners would report that they maybe missed a turn, and shortly after they realized they missed a turn, they went back and saw that the turn was marked, and they took ownership that they just missed the turn. So you really have to do your homework for Lost Boys and get an idea of where the turns are coming, because we mark them well, but it's not uncommon to miss a turn and go back and find that the turn was obviously marked. It's such a gorgeous trail, you maybe don't pay as much attention to where the turns are. It was an awesome day. Thank you to all the volunteers. We had over 60 volunteers for the 59 runners, and it was an amazing day that I'm so proud of all the volunteers and all the runners and participants. Nice work. We'll see you all next year.